I'm Jana Brown Phillips. I am from the class of 1984, and I'd like to welcome you to the 28th Annual Stillwater Pioneer Athlete Memorial Induction Ceremony. We're going to start with our invocation, and I'd like to invite John Talley to come up and lead us in prayer.
What a great problem to have, everybody visiting. It's really cool to see so many people back. Would you bow with me, please? Lord, we come before you in a troubled time in our nation where sometimes we don't look at people as important as you do. So as we pause right now for this induction of great people, help us to remember that you love us all. Help us to remember that we need to forgive like you forgive us. And so, Lord, thank you for this opportunity right now to pause and say that you're important to us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Thanks, John. So here with the Stillwater Pioneer Athlete Memorial, or SPAM as we like to call it for short, there's a twofold charge. One is the memorial induction that we're performing today, and the other is to award a scholarship to a graduating Pioneer athlete. This year's athlete was McKenna Burns, and McKenna, I'd like to invite you up to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. My name is McKenna Burns, and I was the 2025 member of this scholarship. I'm so blessed to have received this scholarship, and it's really helped me not have to worry about my tuition. And it was just so much fun being an athlete at Stillwater. It really changed probably the trajectory of the rest of my life, being hardworking and having good character. But I'm right now going to the University of Oklahoma, and I'm majoring in pre-physical therapy. I'm taking lots of biology and psychology classes, and this is fully paid for my tuition, so I won't have to worry about any of that this year. And so I also have 4 siblings, so my parents don't have to worry about getting me through school either. So that's been a really big blessing. So thank you all who let me get this scholarship. Thank you.
Thank you, McKenna. Next, I'd like to recognize the rest of the SPAM board members. So if you're a board member, a lot of them are standing at the back of the room, but if you're not standing, could you please stand so you can be recognized? Thank you. At this point, I'd like to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, Tom Derringer.
Good morning. Great to see a bunch of pioneers here. Some of you I recognize, some I don't. And I'm sure I'm the same way. You guys remind me of going to Mrs. Becker's English class. It took her forever to get us settled down and get class started. Some things just don't change. We're pleased to do this each year and have the opportunity to celebrate athletics here at Stillwater High School. We feel strongly that these people that we're inducting benefited a great deal from participating in athletics. And it's our pleasure to showcase these individuals that had participated in athletics here, but also had gone on to have a great influence in their local community. Sometimes it's in Stillwater, but oftentimes it's not. And we even forgive some of those people that end up down there at OU. So it's my pleasure to start off with our introductions this morning. The first person that we're going to induct is Ken Greiner. And here to introduce him is his daughter, Cheryl Greiner. Where's Cheryl?
It doesn't move. My name is Cheryl Greiner Gummerson. I'm very honored to be here to represent, God, I'm already crying. Are you kidding? Mainly my siblings, my brother Don, and my 2 sisters who are actually out of the country and can't be here today. So thank you for letting me do this. I would ask that the Ken Greiner family, nieces, nephews, kids, grandkids, will you guys please stand up and wave? Everybody, siblings and Carol Ann. Come on. So Dad was raised in Stillwater. He was born in Cushing, but he never said that part, only because Stillwater didn't have a hospital yet. So he would just skip the birth part and just say he was raised in Stillwater. So he's pretty much born in Stillwater had they had a hospital. In 1938, he absolutely loved Stillwater. From a very young age, we were coming to football games at Oklahoma State, and he, I don't know how many times to every kid, pointed out where he lost his first tooth, which was somewhere out on Highway 51. Like what he was doing way out there, I don't know, but something about a well, I don't know. He lost his first tooth. He would always show us every house they lived in, every time we came. It was fantastic. But he truly loved Stillwater. You know, from a very young age, my grandma lived here, and my grandma Greiner and her husband, Grandpa, was the DA of Payne and Logan counties. So Dad knew a lot of people growing up, but we would come to OSU football games, and I had to stay at Grandma's because I was too young to go. But all my siblings got to go, and I was stuck with Grandma. And I mean, it was fine, but you know, at that age, they smell funny and all that, which they didn't, but for some reason at that age, you think they do. Finally, I got a little bit older, and I could go to football games if I could get in. So I could sneak into the kids' end zone or find tickets on the ground, or I finally got to start going to some football games. But his love for Stillwater, I think he passed on to, I know me, and I'm guessing some of my other kids based on some of his other kids based on the fact that we went to OSU. Every time I pull into Stillwater, I lived here the few years I went to school here. Every time I pull into town, I get that warm, I'm home feeling, and I never lived here. I mean, really, student doesn't count, but we all just love it here. When he was a child, he had a mind for business. He sold magazine subscriptions, he was a painter, he had a paper route, he sold newspaper subscriptions. He started a lawn mowing business and even franchised it in junior high. For 3 summers, he mowed over 300 lawns, and he said he never wanted to mow another lawn again, and I don't think he did. But he got to know a lot of people in town because he was the go-to. He had a little sign for his business with his phone number. At Stillwater High School, Dad was involved in National Honor Society, Student Council, and he ran track and cross country. He was all-state in track, cross country, and finished second in the state in the mile run. And I have some of his medals on my necklace today. I think that's kind of cool. He also had childhood polio, and he missed about a semester of 6th grade, but because of his polio, he had legs of different lengths. So the fact that he was able to run at all is pretty miraculous. So to succeed is even greater. His track practices were at the old Oklahoma State football field, or around them, and his cross-country practices were what is now known as the Greiner Family Cross Country Course. He went to Oklahoma State, shocker. He was very proud of the fact that as a student senator, he introduced the bill to create a real live living mascot out of what was then a 2-dimensional Pistol Pete. So Dad was always very proud that he brought Pistol Pete to Oklahoma State in real life. He was also proud that he was one of the first half-dozen customers at Hideaway Pizza when they opened in 1957. I feel like the family should get some sort of discount for that or something that should have been handed down. As an OSU alum, he was chairman of the OSU Foundation, chairman of the OSU Phi Delta Theta Housing Corporation, and was a founding whole sponsor at Karsten Creek. He always showed his love for Stillwater by remaining involved until the day he died. He was back here all the time. I mean, we only live in Oklahoma City, but still, he was here all the time. I think Dad would be honored to be included in the Stillwater Pioneer Athletic Memorial. I'm sure he would be humbled and probably a bit embarrassed. He would also be thrilled to enter with his brother-in-law, Dick Powell. On behalf of the entire family, thank you for honoring our dad and Papa, Ken Greiner.
Cheryl made me remember, we're going to take pictures after the ceremony, so invite all the family members to hang around, and we'll get your group shots at the end of the service, okay? Our next inductee is Stan Ward. I made mention of the fact that some people end up down in Norman, but what a great supporter he's been of the SPAM organization over the years. He's done a number of presentations for people going in, and financially he's always supported us quite nicely. Here to present him is Matthew, his son. Oh, there you are, Matthew.
Hey, my name's Matthew Siemens, and he is right. Drove up here from Norman today, so I kind of feel like I'm behind enemy lines here, but it's okay. But I'm truly honored to be here today to just introduce my grandfather. He was a very special person to me. I grew up just hearing stories about Stillwater and kind of his mischief and all of his football stories, so I heard them more than once. Definitely. He was a proud alumnus of Stillwater High School. He really, truly embodied the spirit of pioneer pride in everything he did. He did that through service and his athletic achievement, and definitely his faith in God and his love for family. It is kind of tough to get up here and talk about my grandfather. Sorry. As a student at Stillwater High, my grandfather stood out not only in the classroom, but also on the football field. He sustained some injuries through his football career, but he never let that set him back. He transferred to OSU, where he earned both his bachelor's and master's degree in political science, and then he later attended the University of Oklahoma College of Law. Stan's professional career began in California, where he practiced law and served his community. He sat on the Board of Regents at the Downey Community Hospital, and he was also the local Kiwanis Club president. In 1978, he came back home to Oklahoma and was later appointed to the University of Oklahoma Board of Regents. Through all these achievements, though, Stan's heart never wavered from what truly mattered most, and that was his faith, his family, and his community. With his wife, Gail, by his side, Stan raised their family on a farm in Noble, Oklahoma. He found joy in the simple things and lasting things, mostly riding his John Deere tractor and working out on the farm. He actually wasn't that mechanically inclined. He kind of recruited his grandsons to Google things for him and try to figure things out. So we tried the best we could, and a lot of things just kind of remained broken. My grandfather loved teaching Sunday school at McFarland Methodist Church in Norman. He would also go as far as writing his Christian-themed plays, and he touched many lives through his work at the church. Stan, my grandfather, lived by a principle he often shared with others. He always said, love God, love others, forgive others, and then follow the golden rule. And just, my grandfather really never sought recognition, but he just lived a life of leadership, character, and humility that really makes him, I believe, a good candidate for Stillwater's finest athletes and public servants. He loved God and he loved others, and he deeply loved his classmates from Stillwater High. So it's only fitting today we honor Stan in the Stillwater Pioneer Athlete Memorial. Thank you.
Cheryl, something's bothering me. You mentioned that your grandparents smelled funny. I'm wondering if I need to go home and fumigate before my grandkids get there. Our next inductee is Dr. Dick Powell, and here to present him is Alan Ty.
Good morning. I have the distinction of probably, not many in this room do, the black sheep of two families, not only the Ty family, but I swear the Powell family. They're a long-lost black sheep. You can read about the very real reasons that we're here to honor Dick's contribution to this community. In the meantime, I'm going to give you a little walk of history. Our friendship goes back over 80 years. I said 80 years. When I was a little kid, my family lived at 14th and Main. And you youngsters might not know that Main Street dead-ended right there at the Stillwater Creek at that time. So it was a long time ago. The Currents family lived across the street. The Powells lived a couple of blocks north of Lincoln when we started to the first grade. So I can't think of a time that I didn't know Dick Powell, and that's not a senior excuse. Dick's mom was the den mother of our Cub Scout pack, and that's just one of the reasons I claimed her as my second mother the rest of her life. And it's still the reason I claim Deanna as my little sister. Sorry, Deanna. After grade school, there were sock hops in the junior high gym and dance lessons at Smith Studio. We warmed the bench on the Powell Food Market Little League team, and Dick and I sold fireworks off the front porch of his dad's grocery store. I probably warmed the bench more than Dick did, but on the other hand, I had a really good pitch selling the fireworks. The only trouble was that when I'd get ready to collect the money, Dick would elbow in and take the cash every time. We were in DeMolay together and shared, scared is probably the right word too. We shared many high school classes, of course. That's around the time that I recall observing the relationship develop between Dick and Carol Ann. And after that point, sorry, I can't really make a great big distinction, and that's a compliment. The three of us started at college just as OSU, just as it became OSU, and after graduation, when I returned to see my folks, I always managed to see the Powells. I enjoyed their hospitality, except on their darn tennis court. Dick never showed me any hospitality on that court. But speaking of tennis and hospitality, I want you to raise your hand if you ever had a 5-time Wimbledon singles champion as your house guest. Yeah, only the Powell kids can say that. There were lots of memories featuring Yost Lake, and I mentioned that because I think Dick and Carol Ann were one of the first to kind of rebuild out there, and I hope it's still what it used to be. My favorite memory is watching my two sons meet the Powell girls and hoping that they were enjoying Yost as much as we had when we were kids. It was a lot of fun. On the other side of the pond, Dick and Carol Ann, we were able to welcome them when they came to England. They were on their way to Worcester to do the canal boat ride on the English channels. And we decided we'd tag along and see them off. As it turned out, I spent all of my time running along the path of the canals, running from gate to gate and doing the manual operation, as Carol Ann complained that they should have been automated gates. So, well, you read in the program that the girls speculated that Dick might have a Rodney Dangerfield groaner, so how can I resist? I get no respect. When I was a kid, my family moved a lot. My parents moved a lot. But I found them every time. Rodney may not have deserved any respect, but Dick Powell certainly does. And that's, of course, why we're here. As I said, it's really hard for me to separate that from Carol Ann, and I think if Dick was here, that's the first thing he'd do is point to her. So thanks very much for your time. You got my duty?
Well, I'll take care of it for you here.
All right, thank you, sir.
You want to have the Powell family stand so we can recognize the family that's here? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next inductee is Victor Heller. Where's Linda at? I missed. Oh, there you are, right there in the front row. Linda, do you remember a scar on Vic's chest? Oh, he had a big scar on his chest. I helped put that there. You know, we were in Boy Scouts together, and of course, Boy Scouts like to mess around. Well, L.E. Tinker had Troop 20, and he had all these canvas tents, and he had all these stakes that were sticking up. Well, they were made out of pretty good-sized rebarb, and we're out messing around chasing him one day, and boom, he falls right on the middle of the stake, and he had to go home. I don't think Dr. Heller spoke to me for a year after that. So. Here to present Victor is Bob Murphy.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm really glad to be back here at Stillwater High, and it's great to see a lot of friends. I wanted to pick some people out. Let's see. Beth Fenimore Test from our class is here. She's on the board of directors. John Gage, I saw him around. John, if you'd wave. And then Dana Fisher flew all the way from Minneapolis to be here, and Susan Katz-Baum flew in from Houston. So we're really glad to see them from our class of 68. And we got some other people from the class of 68, but I'm going to talk about them especially. So if you take yourselves back to fall 1966, right here, over where Principal Sanders' office was, 5 sophomores showed up and told him we wanted a tennis team. He had Max Johnson, Steve Shaw, Dennis McDonald, Vic Keller, and Bob Murphy. We got us a team, or at least we thought we were getting one. And so anyway, first time Stillwater ever had a real tennis team where you had matches and stuff like that. So we got appointed Martin Red Loper, the iconic basketball state champion coach, to be our tennis coach. Coach Loper was a great guy, great coach, but he knew nothing about tennis, didn't even know how to keep score. But that was okay. We knew how to play, and one thing we needed to be legitimate so we could get letters was we had to play 8 matches. So Coach Loper set us up with 4 teams to play. And I thought, well, that'll work for 4 of those matches, but what are we going to do for the other 4? And he goes, well, we'll play home and away. And I'm just kind of thinking home and away. We got a little problem with that, but big problem was we could do the away. He just said, I got a car. Steve, you got a driver's license. So he gave Shaw the keys, and Steve drove us to the away matches. But for the home matches on the return, the problem was we didn't have any tennis courts. Pretty hard to play a home match without home tennis courts. So what are we going to do? So Vic says, no problem. Max and I will just go to shop. Max is great at lettering. He'll draw us up some signs and say, match reserved for high school. And we go to the college courts. And we go there, and Dennis and I and Steve and Max and Victor kick the college kids off the courts, tell them we got a high school match we got to play. And so we play our home matches over on the OSU college courts. So you can imagine 5 sophomores kicking college kids off the courts. And of course, we had no authorization or anything to do that. We just took it in our own hands and used our initiative. And we were pretty proud of ourselves, so we got our 8 matches in. But then the problem was, on the back end, we hear second hour when they make the announcements, Mr. Gibson saying, we need some people to report to the principal's office. We need Max Johnson, Steve Shaw, Dennis McDonald, Bob Murphy, Vic Keller. And I'm thinking, we're probably going to they probably call the news press, take our pictures. We're famous. We did something nobody did. Steve Shaw's looking at it like, Murphy, you got us in trouble. I think we're going to reform school. The rest of the guys weren't quite sure what was happening, but he tells us he got a call from Dr. Bob Comm, OSU president, heard that we were been playing matches on the college courts, wanted to know what was going on, and I remember Principal Sanders, I've never had this happen before. I don't know quite what to do with you guys, but he just said, I never want to see you again, never want to hear about this happening again, now get out of here. So we got out, and it worked out pretty well, though, because over there on the bulletin board, towards the end of the year, they posted the list of the Pioneer Lettermen, and it had all the icons, Buddy Wyatt, Tom Derringer, those guys. Now, Steve had lettered when he was even a freshman, so he was on there for that, but they had another line, and it had Max Johnson, Dennis McDonald, Bob Murphy, Vic Keller, and Steve Shaw. Steve got in twice, so we were able to get our Pioneer letter jackets, got the privilege of joining S Club, which wasn't that much fun, but we got in, so we got to wear the jackets and the T-shirts, and Victor was instrumental in that. He was, in the true sense, a pioneer, and I feel Victor's spirit here today. Victor, we couldn't have done it without you, and we miss you, buddy, and thank you so much. Let's have the family stand up. I think most of them are right here on the front row. They came all the way from Florida to be here. Yeah.
Our last inductee today is Greg Stump, and here to introduce Kevin Raines is Jake Stump. Is Jake here? I thought Jake was going to introduce, but this is Kevin Raines. He's going to talk about Greg.
Back.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom. Say real quick, I want to have the friends and family of Greg Stump to stand up because he's got a lot of classmates and everything here. Thanks, guys. You know, I met Greg in grade school. We went to two different grade schools, but we participated in the YMCA wrestling program. So we wrestled from the time we were in grade school all the way through college. So I got to see Greg grow as a wrestler. Believe me, he became an outstanding wrestler. But he was a different person on the mat than he was in real life. Everybody loved him in real life, but when he got on the mat, he just changed. You could see it in his eyes, his intensity for the sport and the win. And he had a really strange stance. He'd always stick that leg out there for you to take it. But I never had to wrestle at his weight, thank God. But I lost my train of thought there for a second. That happens a lot when you get to be my age. So Greg, when he got on the mat, he was just a different person. And I never had to wrestle with him, but I had to spar with him on the wrestling match. And Greg was mean as the devil on the wrestling match. He'd get out there and you wrestle with him, and he'd use his chin. He'd dig that chin into your back, your ribs, your arms. If he wanted you to move something, he'd use his chin. I started calling him a chin after that. But the thing was, you wake up the next morning, you'd be sore, but you have all those bruise spots from Greg's chin in your ribs and stuff. But he was quite a prankster, you know, growing up. We were sophomores in high school. We became best friends, you know, by the time we were freshmen in high school. And I walked into it was a sophomore year, our first day, I walked into the foyer, and Greg had a very distinctive laugh. But when he got a belly laugh going on, he'd sit there and just slap his leg, just rolling in laughter. Well, I walked into the foyer, and Greg goes, Kev. He always called me Kev. And I go over there, and he's laughing and slapping his leg, and I go, what'd you do? And he goes, well, he evidently got up early that morning and went out to a handful of the girls, sophomore girls in our class, lit the air out of their tires so they'd be late to school on the very first day. He was just ornery that way. But when we went out to his car to go to lunch, all four of Greg's tires were flat. I was the one slapping my leg in laughter on that. And we used to always go to the OSU wrestling matches, all of them, literally, when we were in high school, and thoroughly enjoyed it. He's well missed and loved by a lot of people, and I just appreciate the opportunity to get up here and talk about him. In the meantime, I'd like to invite Terry and the family up here.
Hi, I'm Terry Noonan Stump, and I'm Greg's wife, and I'm forcing Jake to stand up here with me because we're both so nervous. But his daughter Adley wrote a little something that I would like to share with you, and it's, as I'm introducing Jake to people that he probably met when he was really little, I'm like, he was my first kiss. Oh, he was my second kiss. Always wanted to kiss him, so it's been fun seeing everybody that came out to be here today. But Adley says, and she couldn't be here, "Hi everyone, it's Adley, Greg's daughter. I wish I could be there with you all today. It brings me deep gratitude, joy, and yes, a little pain to know that you all are gathered here today, not only just to honor my dad, but so many others whose life left such an impact. I know my dad is honored to be included, and this would mean so much to him. He loved wrestling more than anyone I've ever met. He poured his entire heart into everything he touched, and everything was made better because of him. I don't know much about wrestling except the moves that he would teach me grappling around on the floor every Saturday morning. I especially enjoyed the way he taught me to power slam my brother Jake that's why his nose is a little flatter than it used to be. My brother Jake when I felt he was out of line or stealing my toys. Dad would always give the shirt off his back, maybe too often, but always without hesitation. I know I'm biased, but he was the kind of person we should all aspire to be. I feel so fortunate to have been his daughter for the 24 years of magic to witness his magic. I'm so sorry for the loss everyone here has felt and for the wounds that feel reopened today, but I hope we all take these stories as a reminder of how limitless our time here really is and how far our ripple affects each and every one when we are gone. Thank you for putting this together for everyone that's here and for remembering Greg Stump in it. So I just needed to read those words, and our family's so small. So if you know us, stand up. No, I'm just kidding. And our best friends that are come from college and high school to be here. So thank you, Tom. Appreciate it so much.
Thank you, Terry. Okay, that's our 5 inductees this year. Again, we just truly enjoy as a board doing this and getting to reminisce and also explore some of the things that we didn't know about some of these former pioneers. So it's a great time on our part, and we truly enjoy it. Don't forget, after the ceremony, we would love to have you guys get your pictures. Melinda, are you going to be the photographer? Okay. Melinda's going to kind of herd you cats again, and we'll get your photos. We've got some refreshments over there, so hang around as long as you can. Here to close us is board member Mark Wagner.
We appreciate you all coming here today, and the Oklahoma weather turned a little hotter just for you. But I'm Mark Wagner's class of 1969, Stillwater High School. But it's an honor for us to commemorate these 5 lives that we have here today, for they are well lived and well remembered. In honoring their achievements and telling their stories, we also keep their memories alive. And in so doing, we have the opportunity to help young Stillwater Pioneer students achieve their life goal of a college education, all under the banner of Pioneer Pride. We're very proud of the 26 Jim Harris scholarships this memorial has enabled since the year 2000. That was when we were able to get together $2,000 for 4 years of college. And today we have grown that very successfully to $12,000 for 4 years of college. And that's one of the largest private scholarships that we have in the area. This scholarship is unique because we look for students who have not only participated in Pioneer athletics, but have also exhibited a great sense of Pioneer pride and Pioneer leadership. Although we seek students with excellent grades, we also pay close attention to financial need, as many of these scholarship recipients would not be able to attend college if it wasn't for this assistance. These scholarships create a legacy of Pioneer pride, just like these inductees leave a legacy to their families and friends, which is so very important in these days. And we need your help to keep this going. We ask for your generous donations in honor of the current and past inductees, or even your own candidate for induction into SPAM, Stillwater Pioneer Athlete Memorial. To make your tax-deductible donations, there are envelopes on the back tables over here if you wanted to mail in any checks. Or you may also make donations online using a credit card or debit cards or even PayPal at our website, which is also found in the back of the program, and that is stillwaterpioneermemorial.org. You can also find the web address in the back of this program as well, but the website also lists the address for mailing checks made out to Stillwater Pioneer Memorial. If you would like to nominate a person for induction into the memorial, the website has a form to complete online, or you can download it and mail it in. As Tom had said, as a reminder, all families and presenters should stay, and we'll bring you up one at a time for family and group photos. We appreciate you coming here today. This concludes the ceremony. Thank you.